friends, happy Story Kit Crush Friday. Today I am documenting I'm telling a story about my hair and about my hair journey for the Change Story Kit, which is the kit Krystal and I are crushing this month. I've talked a little bit about my hair journey before in the Pieces of Us challenge, but I don't think I've told any stories about, like, you know, the big change that the big change that was locking my hair in my story book album. So I figured the Change Story Kit was the perfect story lens for telling the story. I just said story like 8 times in the last 5 seconds. That was wild. Okay. So my plan was to tell a story using this card. So this is what the card looks like, if I can find it. So this is what the card looked like, and this is what I did with it. So if you've watched my my quick Photoshop tutorials, then you already know how to do this. You just have to use the marquee tool and select bits and pieces of the card and copy and paste it. It is pretty much the same thing I do every time I want to resize a journaling card. Literally the same exact technique. And then I just took this and repeated it across the bottom, because my journaling was really long, but I didn't want to make it bigger than 10-point font. I just like the look of 10-point, so I just filled this up at the bottom, and I figured I'd put like some sort of sticker or something down here. So here is pretty much the flesh. I mean, I can't get through a story without a flip out, right? Like, it just seems to be impossible for me. It's probably because I write too many words when I'm telling stories. Like, I just cannot be concise. Like, I don't know what concise looks like. And mind you, this is after I edited my journaling down. It is still this long after I edited it down. So it was meant to be. Like, it kind of is what it is. Honestly, you guys, after writing this, I am so stoked for this journaling class type thing that I'm going to attempt to teach, because I love adding really long journaling to my stories. And if I can help you guys figure out how to do that, how to, like, just give yourself space and room to create, that is what I'm all about. So here is pretty much the skeleton of my layout. I then took this card. Also, have you guys noticed that I'm a hybrid scrapbooker? Because I'm 100% a hybrid scrapbooker. I took this card and just repeated it a few times so I had a full panel, and I measured it so that it would sit here pretty much perfectly, which it does, and then I just scored it with my score tool. So must-haves in Tashi's craft room is a scoreboard and my 6-hole paper trim, not the paper trimmer, my 6-hole punch for the 6-hole albums, because my scoreboard and my punch get so much use these days because I'm constantly having to score things and do flip outs because, again, I do not know how to be concise when I do my journaling. So we are just going to cover this up. Let's just not talk. Make sure we do this straight. Okay. I can't do things straight, so I needed to not talk to make sure it went on straight the first time. Okay, perfect. So that's what it's going to look like in the album, and then when you open it, there are the words. Now I'm going to see if I can trim this down without ruining it. So let's just take a little bit off of this so it's all nice and flush. Okay, that works perfectly. All right. So we are moving right along with this layout. The construction of this layout is not going to be anything, you know, terribly difficult. This is my favorite part of using Allie's story kits for telling stories like this, because, I mean, I feel like I say this all the time. You guys are probably sick of hearing me say this, but scrapbooking doesn't have to be hard, you know? Like, there are definitely some days where I'm like all about like digging in and spending some time making something really complex, but then there are also other days where the story is what's really important to me, and then making it look nice is like a second thing, which almost always works out. So, but scrapbooking doesn't have to be hard. So, like, the construction of this layout is not going to be anything crazy. So my plan was to put some sort of patterned paper down here, and then put this piece on top of it. I want to put it on top of color, just because there's so much color on this side, and I don't want it to be. I mean, that could work. I don't know if I like that. Never mind. Maybe I'll put it on top of vellum. Okay, so I do want to put some sort of color on this side, because this side of the page is very monochromatic and this side's pretty colorful. And what if I just use the same pattern? I don't know how I feel about that. Okay, so I had this grand idea that I was just gonna put some sort of pattern paper and then put the change piece on top of it, but I don't know how I feel about that. So we are going back to the drawing board with this one. Yeah, we're gonna go back to the drawing board with this one while I figure out what I want to put. I mean, do I want to put anything underneath? I do need to put color on this side. Okay, so now we are like really working, you guys, because I had, you know, I had everything worked out in my head and it was just gonna be super quick to put this all together, and then nothing is working the way I wanted it to. So now we have to go back to the drawing board. So I did have these tab stickers because I wanted to put a tab across the top. These are from, I have no idea where these are from, to be perfectly honest, but I had them out. I'm going to use the one that says This Story. I really like when Allie does these like tabs because I do lots of flip outs. So they come in very handy in my personal memory keeping because I like that they're little like top things. Okay, I was going to put a chipboard here. So, oh, there's stickers in this kit. Wait, what? How did I not know that? Okay, that shows you how much I like spent looking through my kit the first time. Okay, I like this. All right, which one am I gonna use? Okay, so what I decided to do was layer one of these puffy stickers in the yellow over this green chipboard. Because again, I want to like keep with the colorful theme we have going. So I figured those two layered over each other. I think that looks really good. Just like that. I'm not gonna do anything else to it. If I remember correctly, there were some sort of phrase stickers in this kit. This is what happens when I throw everything on my desk. I can't find anything. I was sure that there were some sort of phrase sticker thing in this kit, but I could be wrong. There were little gray stickers. I don't know where they went. I found my little gray stickers. So I do want to put something on the inside. So I'm going to put this piece that says Embracing Change because it's perfect for the story that I'm telling. Also, if I haven't said this already, I'm talking about locking my hair. I chose to lock my hair last year. So I've had my hair in my locks for about 1.5 years now. And I tell a few, like, this was really transformative. Like, I know some people are just gonna be like, Tashi, it's just hair, you're being crazy. But this was actually really transformative for me. It was a very interesting journey. It challenged a lot of what I thought about femininity. It challenged a lot about what I thought about beauty. Yeah, it was a thing. So I'm very glad I did it, but there's lots I could say about this last 1.5 years since I've had my hair locked. So I have this picture of me just kind of hanging out on the floor with all my hair like blowing on the floor and spread out. I still don't know what I want to do with that change piece. All right, we're gonna sit on it while I try to decide. So I figured out why the paper wasn't working for me before, and it was just that the piece of paper that I wanted to use was too big. So I tried it again with a smaller strip of paper, and I liked it so much more. So that's what we're gonna go with. We're gonna still go with the same rainbow paper that I was using before, which is kind of perfect because there's a lot of color on the other side. But see, I have a much narrower, is that straight? Okay, that is straight. I have a much more narrow piece, and so now the acrylic piece is kind of on the rainbow paper, but it's also directly on the photo. And I think that's what was driving me mad. Like, I kind of wanted it a little bit on the photo, but I also have a little bit of the color to help ground it. So we're gonna glue this right on to our photo. And I'm actually using the acrylic piece. Like the last few kits that we've crushed, I have made sure that one of the layouts I made actually use the acrylic piece so that I'm using it up and not saving it forever and ever, which happens to me with all of my acrylic pieces from my story kits. So I'm making a point to put it on pages. So if this was the reminder you needed, or this is the kick in the pants you needed, put your acrylic pieces on pages, you guys. Don't hoard them forever, ever, and I did, like I do. And while I was being indecisive, I added a few of these gold asterisks. So I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. I'm gonna add, on this side I added 2 on the top, 1 on the bottom. So on the opposite side, I'm gonna put 1 on the top. Nope, I'm lying. I'm gonna do the same thing because I don't leave myself enough space. So I'm gonna do the same thing. So 2 on the top and 1 on the bottom. So we're carrying that gold on both sides. We have the rainbow on both sides. And that is going to complete this story for my second layout for Story Kit Crush Fridays using the Change Story Kit. I'm not going to read all my journaling to you because it is very long, but I will read you some of it. I read you this middle paragraph just so you can kind of get the idea of the story that I'm telling, because I talked a lot about like fear of change, because I thought about locking my hair for years, literally for years. And I like every time I was about to do it, I would like punk out and I would not do it, and I would be worried that I would be ugly. And then I was like, well, who decides that you're ugly? And I had all these crazy conversations with myself until I finally did it, and I feel so much more like myself these days. So I'll just read you this middle paragraph. So it says, I yelled at that voice to be quiet the entire time she washed and sectioned my hair. I squashed it as she started the comb coils, and I demanded that it go as she placed me under the dryer, feeling both foreign and native, like something that has never inhabited this body before, but also something that has finally come home. I reminded myself that it's just hair, that it grows and changes and can be cut and can grow again. But it wasn't just hair, was it? It was a statement, it was change, it was a big step in a new direction, a subtle flip off to the establishment, a novel way of carrying myself, a way of wearing the crown of my ancestors, a way of adorning myself in decades and centuries of culture, of heritage, a way of asserting my truth. A way of digging deep and planting seeds that would grow into roots that would sprout tree trunks from my scalp, that would bloom and blossom and become something wonderful. I spoke to my seedlings in the depth of their awkward phase, where they had no idea how to do the thing that I wanted them to do. After years of straighteners and curl creams and bantu knots, how would they know to grow the way they were meant to on the cusp of their 4th decade of life? But we figured it out, my saplings and I, and then they became vines that brushed my ear, my cheekbone, my jaw, and sometimes I look in the mirror and I see the trees they will become after the maturation, in the middle of the flourishing. One day, we will bloom together and create something wonderful. For now, I am content to enjoy the journey and to go where the roots take me. So there we go. My story about changing my hair, which to some people might seem like nothing, but to me was a big step. So it was perfect for this card. So that's my project for this Story Kit Crush edition. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you're so inclined. I'm just going to make sure to have Krystal's YouTube channel linked in my description all the time, so you can head on over to her to see what she's been making. And that's it, you guys. I will see you around. So till next time, keep it crafty and have the best day. Bye!